No religion denies that. So a selfish animal has to be trained in morality to be sociable, to stick to certain rights and to see to the others' rights as well. That is morality, of course. Now, religious morality teaches absolute morality according to Islam, while other moralities which are man-made are always relative moralities. The morality of a British subject would not be defined exactly as the absolute morality, because at certain stages in history they would come to clash with each other. If for the loyalty to the British people, a Britisher is expected to violate the rights of other people, his concept of morality would be to stick to the British loyalty first. That stands uppermost. If a Russian has the same situation of clashes of communist interests with other genuine interests of man, according to Lenin, the definition of morality would be whatever serves the cause of your ideology is moral. Whatever goes against this is immoral. So when the definitions of morality begin to differ from country to country and nation to nation, a clash is an imminent factor. It can be delayed, but it cannot be wiped out, or it cannot be done away with. It's impossible. In such a situation, everybody would be marking time, and everybody would be waiting for his opportunity to pounce upon his enemy, because where moral interests clash, the enmity begins. It comes into being. The concept of one man goes overboard. So if these people are smaller in stature and dimensions and power, there will be small wars, feudal wars, war between smaller regions. They grow in power, and then you see Hannibal, and also you see Genghis Khan and Halaku Khan, and so on and so forth. And when they become more intense and they occupy the global magnitude, then they become East and West divided into ideologies, and the superpower of the West and the superpower of the East. Because according to the Holy Quran, their concept of justice is not absolute. They simply cannot avoid an ultimate clash which may develop into a holocaust for the whole world. And here Islam has a very clear teachings, very specific and very clear, without ambiguity. It says that in such a situation where there are differences between people and people, لا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى. That in a situation where you have to dispense justice, even if you have to favor a people who are hostile to you, never leave the value of absolute justice. Show favor to such a people and dispense justice. Huwa aqrabu lit-taqwa. For your safety and survival, it is highly important. It is essential for your survival. Taqwa is a most beautiful word used in the Holy Quran in various contexts and concepts. Literally it means security and saving yourself. Also fear, particularly fear of God in a different sense. So here taqwa in this context is to be translated as for your security and survival. It's highly essential. If you leave this principle and you ignore this principle, then you will definitely meet destruction. Because it is not say you will definitely meet destruction, but Taqwa means if you leave taqwa, that is, you leave security. Then you become unsafe. And if you leave all other factors out and try to analyze the present world situation or the world situation existing in the time of the Second World War or prior to it, or the world situation at the time of the First World War or the prior to it, then this key would fit into all these locks. Exactly. And today it is also true. These big powers, they think that if they come to a sort of agreement or reduce their weapons and things, they would avoid war forever. They would escape the possibility of war. It's not possible. Because both these big powers have relative terms vis-a-vis the morality, and both would act selfishly, absolutely selfishly, when the time comes. That means that whenever there is an imbalance between the powers, whenever something triggers off, the war is imminent because there is a lack of trust. Lack of morality causes lack of trust. If I know you are a truthful person, and you know that I am a truthful person, you can leave millions of rupees or millions of pounds worth with me and come to an oral agreement with me. Why do you have to go to so many safeguards, the banks, the business, everything? This need for the police and the armies. People don't see, it's so surprising how they are blind to these facts. Lack of morality. Lowering of the standard of morality demands all these measures, which become so burdensome for the people that the whole economy suffers and crumbles down under these conditions, and they don't see the fact that the simple reason is that the man is becoming more and more immoral. About, let me see, it was in 1956, I was here in England, and I have seen conditions change so much now. At that time, I had a very small account, of course, but as a student naturally, but my account was in Lloyd's Bank here in Wandsworth. Whenever I went there and presented a check, they didn't ask how much money I had or the number or thing. They first gave me the money and I walked out, and then perhaps they worked out things later on. So once I was so surprised, because normally I had to draw only 20 pounds. Once I do perhaps 100 pounds, and they gave me the 100 pounds as well. So instead of walking out of the bank, I went to the manager's room and introduced myself and said, look here, I'm so surprised. Why didn't you take precautions against fraud and things? He said, yes, I understand your point, but I can explain why. He says the incidence of bank frauds and forgeries is so low nowadays in Britain that if to counter it, we make some machinery and run the expenses for maintaining that machinery, the cost of maintaining that machinery would be much higher than the possibility that the total sum which we lose every year by way of these frauds and forgeries. So the banking rates were affected, the costs they were charging their customers, they were also affected, and now things have gone up and up because the morality is going down and down. They are always inversely proportional. And this is so important that it affects every sphere of life, particularly the security of man. The Holy Quran has so beautifully summed it up in the word security. All right, go ahead and be immoral or stick to relative moralities, but then you will not be secure. This is what we tell you. So it is the education of mankind which would solve all these problems, and nothing else. That I assure you.